Hi, guys. It's Mark Gilliard again, and I want to welcome you to your new favorite song here on AIM Country Music Television. My guest today is Connor Daly. He's a relative newcomer to the music scene, but this guy leaves an impression. Connor was raised in Virginia, earned a spot on the track and field team at George Mason University, and most importantly to us, he started recording demos for some of his songs after his first year at George Mason. He's an accomplished classical guitarist that he brings a unique style of his own to his songwriting and his performances. Connor's influences include Jason Isbell, Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers, and Ed Sheeran. But his effortless delivery and unmistakable guitar make him easy to pick out of a lineup. Connor's here today to talk about his new song, Ain't Got a Cape. So let's get him in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Welcome, Connor. Thanks for coming on the program.
I appreciate you having me on. It's great to be here.
Well, great. Well, you're really welcome. I've been looking forward to it. If I don't have my wires crossed, you made your first demos 2019 and released your first several songs in 2023. You're here to talk about like the second release of 2024 today. So we're really kind of early on in your career, but it's looking really good. Why don't you take a few minutes and well, as much as you need, and give us a full intro to you. You know, how did we get here and where are you heading?
Of course, yeah. So I've been playing music my whole life. I grew up playing piano. Unfortunately, I stopped pretty young. I took a few years of lessons. I wish I kept going because I think it's really cool that people that can play the piano. So I'm envious of that. But I played the piano growing up, and then my main instrument right now is my guitar. So I started playing guitar in seventh grade when they offered it in school. And I took classical guitar, which was mainly like finger picking. So not too much chords or, strumming. So that's kind of where I got my start in guitar. I took it in school all the way through senior year in high school, and I really enjoyed it. But I never, thought I'd really do anything with music or the guitar by that point. Because I've never even written a song through high school. And then college comes around. I still play my guitar every now and then, and I decided to try to write a song. It went as well as you could probably expect. It ended up being pretty decent, pretty decent. But I wasn't really sure. I just did it for fun pretty much. But I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the process. So that was freshman year of college, and then throughout college, I wrote a bunch of songs. I don't even know how many, a lot of songs. And then, like you said, in 2019, I first took some of the songs to a studio to cut some demos. Because I was so new to everything at that point, like I wasn't even sure what I was doing. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be an artist or like just writing for fun or try to be a songwriter or whatever. So it was a really cool experience. I really enjoyed like bringing the songs to life in the studio in 2019, and then fast forward through the next few years, I decided to kind of just jump off into the deep end, trying to be an artist myself, going by my middle name Connor and then Daly, Connor Daly. So I figured the name's pretty good. Why not try to be an artist? So
There you go.
that's kind of how it started. So then so last year I put out a few of my first singles in 2023. They weren't a part of any bigger project or anything. I just put out a few singles that I recorded in the studio, and then I've been writing a lot of songs the past year and decided to focus on a full length album. So I'm gonna be putting out my debut album in July 26th of this year, and I got two singles off it so far this year, and then one of them being "Ain't Got a Cape," which we're talking about.
hmm
And I'm gonna put two more singles off of that this year, and then before the record comes out in July. So it's still relatively early in my career, but I'm really excited to go all in and see where it ends up.
Exactly. Well, I know that wishing was from late last year. I think it was like 19,000 views on YouTube and 15,000 on Spotify. So you're definitely getting some notice. I think the strategy is working for you.
Yeah, I'm doing what I can do. Um, I've noticed that it's not an easy road for sure. It's hard to get noticed just because there's so many fish in the sea, um, especially um, it's hard to kind of cut through, but I'm confident in myself, and I'm not sure if this relates too much, but I was an athlete in college. I always put hard work first because everything takes practice to practice makes improvements. I'm a big advocate for that. So I plan on working hard and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, because you were really basically all athletics until you got into college, right? I mean, music was strictly recreational before that, correct?
Yes, yeah. So music was pretty much just my side enjoyment that I did, when I wasn't doing athletics. So in high school, I was on the golf team.
Hmm.
My dad golfed at the Naval Academy back in his day, so I played a lot of golf growing up. So I golfed on the high school golf team, and then my main sport was track and field, and I threw discus was my main event. I also threw shot put, but discus was my main event that I fell in love with, and I was lucky enough to get a spot at George Mason University on the track and field team to throw discus. So I enjoyed my time there, but sports were definitely a big part of my life, and I graduated 2 years ago now at this point. So I felt a little bit lost without all that competition, but music definitely relates to the competition factor in that way. So
Yeah, well,
hopefully
and
build
I
that
think
little.
the discipline of all the athletics is going to really serve you well in the music business because it's important to be in front of people, all the time. That next release and the next release, next release. It's
Exactly.
relentless.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I like I say, I think you're getting the interest in you, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What would you say are your influences? I mean, you had that switch where you were only athletics, and then suddenly it's like I'm going to record demos. Was it someone else's music that you were listening to that got you to say, hey, you know what, I should be putting this out there, or what was that switch that said, you know what, I'm going to make these into at least make these into something somebody else could listen to? What was that switch for you?
Yeah. So like I said, I've been kind of involved in music my entire life, and always loved listening to music. That a big one of my favorite artists was is Ed Sheeran. So I listened to a lot of Ed Sheeran growing up, and he's one of the most popular singer-songwriters of all time. So I always loved his stuff.
I can see that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you've released 6 songs so far, right? They're obviously written by a guy who knows his way around the guitar. You got a voice that's soothing and same time convincing feel to it. So you're working with good tools here. How would you describe your songwriting process? How are you coming up with these songs that you're coming up with?
yeah. So just very basic. I start with the guitar. I'm always sitting with the guitar in my hand when I'm writing. Uh, so I think of the guitar as like the groundwork for the song. You lay the guitar down, try to get some chords that would inspire like a melody. And then typically I just kind of hum along, hit my voice recordings, hum along to the song or the chords by that point. And then I don't think too hard about lyrics or story. I just kind of start saying stuff
There
that
you go.
kind of relates to the feel of the melody and everything. Um, and I try not to like limit myself. Like I try to write about anything and everything. A lot of it does happen to be about relationships, but that's 99% of songs out there. But even for my relationship songs, I try to think of a kind of a different idea or a different perspective that I don't hear too much in songs nowadays. Um, so that's pretty much the basics of songwriting.
So with guitar, how did you transition from classical, because that's like a whole different discipline? How did you transition that to country? Because I listen to all the songs that you have out right now, and there's definitely that thread of guitar that's definitely underlying everything. And it's doing it in a way that has that country feel to it. Um, but how did you get from that point where you're still finger picking, you're still moving around a lot on the fretboard, but you've gotten to country? Was that awkward for you, or is that something that just comes natural with playing, what you're going to make into the next song?
Um, yeah, so I pretty much just started strumming, I would say, just trying to learn how to strum. Even though I was really good at finger picking and doing all these, crazy hand shapes with my left hand, like classical pieces, um, we didn't do any strumming, so I wasn't the best at it at first, but started strumming just with my fingers with just straight nails onto the string, um, which was a great way to get into it, but I've come to strumming with a pick now. So that took about a year to get down, but yeah, I definitely would say I had all the basics that I needed to be successful at kind of, you know, the genre that I'm kind of into right now, which is like American
But
country.
yeah, you have a distinctive style of it. I just wonder if that was something that you had to consciously develop, or you just developed it as you were, doing the next thing.
Yeah, no, it felt pretty natural coming from.
Do you play
I,
electric at all, or is it all acoustic guitars?
I have dabbled a little bit in electric. Um, I would not say I'm great. I,
Are any of the electrics on your songs? Are any of those electrics you, or are those somebody else?
no, there's somebody who's
Yeah.
much more talented at electric guitar.
Well, there you go.
And
You
it's,
leave it to the guy who knows what he's doing on that,
yeah, yeah, I
Well,
don't say
that's
too
fantastic.
far from acoustic yet.
Exactly. That makes sense. When you're a songwriter and you're a singer, I think the part that you really have to support is getting that song out there the way it should be communicated, and that part I think your aces at.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're here to talk about that new release, Ain't Got a Cape. Spotify hasn't caught on to it yet, but it's already been 25,000 times on YouTube. So it's catching on there. So tell us a little bit about it before we play it.
Yeah, so Ain't Got a Cape, like I said, for my basic kind of songwriting structure that I use, I try not to think too much about like ideas, like when I'm starting a song. So like I just started with that kind of dark toned acoustic kind of beginning. So, and then, it's very dark toned, so the melody was a little bit dark on top of that too. And then kind of came out surprisingly a dark kind of
You
song.
did.
So it's pretty much about um, when it's from the perspective of somebody who has a loved one who struggles with mental health challenges, kind of just watching, you try to do everything you can to support them, but at the end of the day, you feel helpless, like there's only so much you can really do. Uh, and in today's society, it's such a prevalent issue that I know people that struggle with it. I'm sure you do. I'm sure everybody does. Um, so that's kind of just where I had that idea after I wrote the first verse to kind of where the song was going to go, and that's kind of where the song went. So I hope, you know, all my music, I want people to feel something and feel whether it's, happy emotions, sad emotions, whatever. I just want them to feel something. So I figured just going all into this topic was the right time to do it.
Well, I think I'd like to play it and see how this audience feels about it. What do you think?
Sounds great. Sounds good.
Awesome. You're watching Connor Daly's video for Ain't Got a Cape on AIM Country Music Television.
837-820-584. 39 Cleveland Avenue.
This fall air feels a lot colder than last year. But maybe it's 'cause you ain't here, hugging on me like you did. And those brown leaves trying to stay on those tall trees. It's kinda like you hanging on me. Then a big gust came and off you went. And you were falling down and needed someone to come and take your pain away. Before you hit that ground, you looked to me, hoping I'd come through and save the day. But you knew, darling, you knew I ain't got a tape. Those trails that used to take us out to those old rails. You hear a train coming and we both bail, jumping off the side in the waves. Well, I still go there, and I still wait for the trains to hit that cold air. I swear I keep seeing you there, through the cars on the other side. And like those leaves blowing by, you were falling down and needed someone to come and take your pain away. Before you hit that ground, you looked to me, hoping I'd come through and save the day. But you knew, darling, you knew I ain't got a tape. Started drifting into dark, dark places, and I didn't know how to break your fall. And I could barely hear a word you were saying, but I know it's my name you call. When you were falling down and needed someone to come and take your pain away. Before you hit that ground, you looked to me, hoping I'd come through and save the day. But you knew, darling, you knew, you knew, darling, you knew.
Well, that's really a great song. It's has such a sad edge to it. I'm always a little amazed when a video, can tell a story that makes you tear up in like 4 minutes. Brilliant work.
Yeah, yeah. We did I recorded the song with the producer William Golly, sorry. And he also directs videos, so he was very involved in the creation of the song and then the video as well. So because he helped in create the song to bring it to life, I feel like it really helped the video come through as well to anybody who would watch it. Um, yeah.
Oh, I did. I listened to the song well in advance of seeing the video because I was on a phone and just doing other things, and I listened to the song, liked the song, said, "Yep, I'd like to be involved in this release." So great song. But then when I came back and listened to the video, it's like I didn't catch any of that. That video really takes the whole thing and really truly illustrates the structure of that song and the meaning of that song in a way that actually touches you. So, video team, actress, what's Abby White, I believe, was the actress in that.
Yep, yep. Abby White. We had a very talented team from cameramen to directors to cast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely. I thought it was just a great production all the way through.
Oh, thank you so much. This is my only second music video I've ever done. But it's an extra creative piece to the creative process of music, and it really does add a lot. So I've kind of fell in love with that part of it too, because it's an extra thing that somebody can view to understand what the song really means. You know?
It really illustrates the story.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I can't let you get out of here without telling us where to find you online, on stage, and where we can buy or listen to all this music.
Of course. Yeah. So my name's Connor Daly. ConnorDaly. You can look me up on any streaming platform under that name, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you got, I'll be there. And then socials on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's Connor Daly Music. Yeah, hope to see you guys there, and hope you like the track.
We'll be hanging on for the next one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on today.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on the show today, Connor. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. It was great to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Daly. So, what do you think? Is Ain't Got a Cape going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliatt for AIM Country Music Television. Thanks for watching.